Okay, one thing that I've noticed since my last video, if I spin around here, you'll see that my engine compartment is just a little bit too wide. It's very easy to fix. All I do is go in and right click, go to unfreeze all, then select my engine compartment, click on uniform size and scale, and then by the x-axis, which is a little red ball there, I just click and just drag it in. And you can see I can kind of squeeze it in there and get about that shape like that. And that's about the shape that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off select uniform scale by clicking on my selector button. Then I'm going to go ahead and create my wings. Now my wings are going to be created with a simple box. I'm going to go ahead and select one and then just click and drag out just a simple box. Then I'm going to go in and give it just a little bit of depth. Click it to lock it in place. Then I'm going to go in and put select and move. Now what I'm going to do before that is I'm going to go ahead and click on my box. So I need to deselect box here. So let me just right click. I'm going to select, I'm going to freeze all my other components. So I'm going to right click, go freeze selection. Select my fuselage, right click, freeze selection. So that's frozen in place. That way I don't have to worry about messing it up. Then I'm going to go in and select my wing. And then I'm just going to move it up in place. Like that. Now what I want it to do is I want it to taper back. So I'm going to move that over like that. And it may be a little bit big, but I can resize that later as well. So I'm going to zoom in with my scroll wheel and get that edge right there. Then I'm going to go get my selector tool again. Click on it, right click, and click on Convert to Editable Poly. Then I'm going to select this front edge here and drag it back so I can have my wings somewhat swept. So I'm going to select that, my edge tool here. Then I'm going to go in and select that front edge, click move, then with my green arrow along my y-axis, just drag it back till I get something like that. Now I'm just going to click on my selector tool again, scroll back out, and I have one wing. What's nice about wings is once I have one created, I can go in and I can just mirror the wing. But what I want to do is I may want to put NURMS on in the future, so I'm going to need to add a little edge to the front. Because if I don't, for example, if I go here to Edit and put on NURMS, look what happens to my wing. It totally deforms. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is scroll in, choose my polygon tool, select that front face polygon there, scroll in a little more, and then I'm just going to bevel just a very simple edge on that front. So I'm going to click and drag it up just a little bit, drag it down, and then I'm going to rotate it a little bit because I may have too much of a front there. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go and click on my move. I'm going to lock it so I don't mess that up. Click on my move, scroll back out just a little bit, and with my green arrow just make that a little bit flatter. And then I'm going to go over to the other side, get the very end. In fact, I'm going to move it back just a little bit more, just get it somewhat flat. Don't go too far, like that. Select my, unlock this, select my end there, click on bevel, bevel just a little bit out like this. I'm going to go down, not too much, like that, click move again, and then just move that to where it's flat. And it gives me just an extra set of polygons there on the end, and I'll show you in a minute what the difference that makes. So I'm going to go here, select this one here, select bevel, drag it out just a little bit, drag it down, and move that to where it's flat as well. I'm going to go here and just move it around a little bit so I can go in a little bit more. Select move, and move it till it's flat. Now watch what happens when I put on NURMS now. If I scroll back out, unlock it, go to Edit, use NURBS. Look, it doesn't deform like it did before. It keeps my wing structure, which really gives me, in fact, it gives me a little bit of slope here, so it almost looks like I have a aerodynamic wing. So now what I'm going to do, instead of going in, I'm just going to deselect my polygon tool there. I'm going to go in and I'm going to select my wing now. I'm going to, up here in my top view, so I'm going to select it. Then I'm just going to go here to my mirror tool, which is right here, and I'm just going to copy it along the x-axis. See how it's kind of flipped around? Now I'm going to click copy here. Now I have a copy, so I click OK. Now I'm going to lock it, click move, and then I'm just going to drag it over to the other side. So now you see I have an exact wing for the other side. So if I go here and move this out, you can see now I have two identical wings. And that's what's nice about copy. I may need to move it out just a little more, but I can do that and get a very, very uniform look with what my plane's going to look like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these wings and I'm going to create my tail fins. So I'm just going to go in and select that one, hold down my control key. Let me go here to get my selector tool. Hold down my control key, click on, I've got to unlock it, click on this other one. Now with both of them selected, I can now go up here to use my copy tool, but I'm not going to do it along the x-axis. I'm going to do it along the z-axis because it gives me the same look there. So when I click OK, now I can just go in, lock that, click move. In fact, I'll move it from my top viewport. I can just click and drag these back like that. Now notice they're the same size, but look what I can do now. I can just click on resize, and I can just kind of uniform resize those. Get them down to the shape I want. And once they're resized, I can choose one individually. Gotta unlock it. And I can move that to where I want it. It gives me a pretty neat look as far as my tail goes. Then what I can do is I can actually go in and create my rudders the same way. I can go here with one selected, click on copy, click OK, lock that, and now from my top viewport I can click rotate, and I can rotate it up like this. Now I'm going to leave it at somewhat of an angle. Then I'm going to go in and click move to move that in place. And in fact, I'm going to move it further forward like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy it one more time. Copy that one. Click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lock this one, move it over this way. And now look,